Welcome to Grit. It's been a couple of weeks, but we're back. Get ready, it's Tony. Tonight, my special guest, I'll let her introduce herself, but she is a veteran warrior, which means super excited for me. She's also in politics, so we're going to get to hear from our guest tonight. I'll let her introduce herself.
Thank you, Tony, for letting me come today. My name is Lani Kane, and I recently moved back to the Los Angeles area. I grew up here, but I spent 20 years up north, and I'm glad to be back. It's different now. I see a lot of things that we did not have when I lived here. But thank you for having me today.
Well, welcome to the show, Lani. I want to get down and dirty really quick with you.
Okay.
I want you to tell us about the veterans that you're involved with, because as you know, I'm Army veteran, and it's super important to me that we have people looking out for people like me. So tell us a little bit about your group.
Well, okay, I will. Thank you for your service, by the way. I really appreciate that. So I have always been a veteran advocate because my entire family are veterans. So my grandfather was a World War I, my father was World War II, my brother's Vietnam, and I had 4 uncles, 2 retired military, 135 Marines, 25 Army. So I've always been very, patriotic, and my family obviously, was dedicated to this country to preserve our freedoms and our rights. And so I got involved. I've always been involved up in veterans. Where I lived before, I used to get veterans off the streets. We used to feed veterans. I worked at a soup kitchen where we fed homeless people, including veterans, every single day. Mm-hmm. And so I worked really close. I was the chair of my MAC, Municipal Advisory Council, the Board of Supervisors, and he was a veteran. So we worked really hard together to get veterans off the streets. And so I ended up joining this nonprofit called Veterans Affiliated Council.
Okay.
And they are a statewide organization, mostly based out of Sacramento. And I liked what they were doing for veterans because they push policy. So they really look at what veterans need in the state of California, and then they will advocate for them in that capacity. And and so they do have a couple of programs in place. We actually put on the biggest parade in the state of California, and it was my honor to be a part of that last year. I learned a lot. With dealing with the city of Sacramento, the police department, everything that you need to put together to get this parade up and off the ground.
Okay.
And so we really try to reach out to our community partners, and our leaders, and, showcase the veterans for that day, because really they're the heroes. They're the ones that have dedicated, they sacrificed their life for this country. So I feel, and I know that my entire board feels, that this is a way to honor them back. So we really go all out. I mean, we probably had about 10,000 people there last year.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I invite everybody in the state of California to get up at the Capitol on November 11th. And the parade starts at 11 o'clock. And if you would like to be a part of it, if you're in the surrounding areas, please, I'll give you the website to contact me. And, everybody's welcome to come. And we also have free community booths, informational booths. And so we encourage everybody to, come out. This year, our focus and our theme is mental health awareness.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I want to give a quick shout out to some of our sponsors, like UC Davis Health. They sponsored us, and they'll be out there, and many other organizations. We have Cal Politics. They'll be out, and they help with veterans with hearing devices.
Okay.
And so, I'm looking forward to this parade. I'm looking forward to all the vendors that are coming out. So, because they really are advocates for our veterans.
Right. And people forget not just the sacrifice the person that enlisted made, but what their families make, right?
Yes.
Because, the wife or the girlfriend has to stay home. If it's a wife with children, they become mom and dad while the husband or the wife is deployed, right? So we forget about those family members that sacrifice 20, 30 years of their life. Right? They serve right with you, right, through the whole process. And we forget about that. And mental health is something that we've always forgotten about with vets.
Yeah.
From Vietnam forward, it's always been, they don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
But people don't understand the anguish you go through, whether, it's in combat or being in a foreign country away from your family, no support. So it's super important that you do that. And I'm glad you mentioned that. I am a mental health now candidate.
Oh.
And maybe that's an organization that you can team up with.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Because they're all about mental health and basically for children, but it's a problem that we're having in this country nationwide, right?
Yeah.
And we're kind of poo-pooing it at times and not paying attention to that part of our society. And it's something that we should. So I'm glad you're doing that, especially with veterans. A lot of us come home with a lot of issues, a lot of baggage. We really don't have anybody to talk to. We can't relate with the civilians out here. They can't relate with us. So it's really sad. And then most of us, move to different states.
Yeah.
We can't really stay connected, unless it's social media. And we don't trust people. I mean, that's pretty much it. We just don't trust anybody else but our brothers and sisters. So
right.
When we have people like you doing what you do, trying to bring people together, it's fantastic. I'm telling you, it's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what upcoming events do you guys have? I know you have November.
Yeah. So the parade right now is our main focus up in Sacramento area. And, because of all the budget deficits, it's really challenging this year to put this parade on because we bring in about 1,500 kids to participate. And from the JROTC, the Boy and Girl Scouts of America, marching bands. And this year we're also bringing in the Challenge Cadet School.
Okay.
They're out in
San Luis Obispo, right?
No, they're in Central Valley.
Central Valley.
Yeah, I might have said their school wrong, but what they do is they have a structured school and help kids, get on the right track. And a lot of them go in the military.
It's run by the National Guard.
Yes. So we put a lot of effort and energy into bringing these kids out. And then we also have recruitment, the Army's there, Air Force, Coast Guard. And so we try to marry those two groups together. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest challenge we have is feeding the kids because we give them a light breakfast and a sit-down hot lunch. And so I'm like the town beggar. I'm going around to everywhere to ask for money.
Right.
I've gotten like $20. And let me tell you, that $20 can go a long ways to helping, the kids. So I'll say it again, it's all on our website, and that is calvac.org, calvac.org. Even if you give $5, it helps. The other thing that I have going on is we have a holiday program, and every year we give food and gifts away to veterans, active military personnel, their families, and last year we also included battered women. And so we gave over $5,000 worth of food and gifts away last year. And so since I recently moved back and I met a lot of veterans at the VA Medical Center, I asked my board if we could include the veterans at Wadsworth.
Okay.
And so they agreed. So I'm hosting with the veterans and my board. We're organizing a big 5K run on Thanksgiving.
Out of all days, right?
I know. Someone said, let's do a 5K. I said, I don't run. I swim, but I won't run. But actually, it's turning out really great because people like Sean Steele and Michelle Steele, they're sponsored that. Eric Early sponsored it. We have several other sponsors that helped me also with that because, like I said, the cities, they do charge for their services and the garbage and the transportation. The clerk down at Santa Monica, she was like, okay, you got to do all this stuff, Lani. And I thought, I'm not putting on a parade. I go, what do I have to do all this stuff for? But it's protocol and I understand. And actually the city of Santa Monica has been really great. They've been very easy to work with and supportive. And so I really appreciate all their help.
Well, Santa Monica is a good city. If it was LA, you'd have a lot of issues in LA. LA makes everything, difficult. But you were talking about veterans in the VA hospital.
Yes.
And I will tell you from my experience, I'm a veteran. I will not go to a VA hospital for any medical treatment.
You won't?
Even though it's free in LA, I won't do it.
Okay.
I won't do it in LA. In West LA, it's a horrible place, in my opinion. And our veterans don't get taken care of, right? So, which is sad. So I'd rather pay for medical insurance like I do instead of
okay.
And because it's broken. The system is broken in some states.
Well, I do see things come through the wire where they are trying to make improvements and allocating special funds for different things. And, you know, Tony, if you become a member of the VAC, I'll send you all that stuff. I'll send it to you anyway. But I do see things that are coming down the line, you know, that they're trying to help our veterans.
Right.
One of them is that they're going to, you know, unfortunately tear down that ballpark.
Right.
And help with more veterans, you know, housing.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I'm glad to see that because you can go build that ballpark someplace else.
Right.
Right? That land was dedicated for our veterans, and why it wasn't used for that in the beginning. Like, they really have a lot of wraparound services now there.
Right.
And so I'm sad that it didn't happen earlier, but I'm glad it's happening now.
Well, it's a step forward, right?
Yeah.
And we need that. And I think sometimes people that were never in the military or don't have members in the military don't understand that even though our boys and girls volunteered, it's a very stressful job, right? And when you come home, not that we want parades or hugs and kisses, but most veterans just want to be treated with respect like they treat everybody else. And sometimes it's difficult because they look at you like, oh, you're a baby killer or you did something crazy. But they forget that the reason the veterans are there is so that they could have their little riots and their little parties and arguments and flag burning. And they're not grateful for that. And not that I want everybody to thank me for my service, but think about a veteran in a positive way. Right. These gals and guys, you know, if you've never been in a country where you don't have the right to do and say whatever you want, you have no right to talk about the United States of America the way some of these people do. Right? Until you've been at the North Korean border, don't talk to me about freedom. Right? Until you've never been in the Middle East defending innocent people, don't talk to me about how bad America is. Right. Until you've lived it, you don't know. You don't know what it's like. And I always say this story. I was stationed in Korea. I think it was 1982, my memory. And the first letter I wrote to my wife, mind you, this is 1982. The first letter to my wife was, you don't know how lucky we are. You have a washing machine and dryer in our house. Yeah. Right? Yeah. In those days, you know, it's not like that anymore. But in those days, Korean women were washing clothes on rocks in a river. Yeah. Right? Carrying all the laundry on top of their head. It sounds crazy, but that's how it was in 1982. Yeah. Right? And I was so shocked. I had never been exposed to anything like that. And I saw it firsthand. Yeah. And that, I think I was 20, made me realize how lucky I am to live in America. Oh, yeah. Right? I might not have everything, might not be a millionaire, but at least I have the basic needs that I have. And if I want more, I could work a little bit harder and get it. Yeah. And not worry about not having certain things. So people forget how lucky we truly are and how grateful we should be to people that stand watch over us every day. I agree with you on that. I mean, I went to Mexico in the 90s, and they were doing the same thing. You know, no indoor plumbing, no luxuries that we have here in America. And the thing that I want to preserve, and this is what brought me into politics, is you fought for our rights. We might not agree, but you still fought for me to be able to have my beliefs. Right. And if I'm not hurting you, then, you know, if you're not hurting people with those things, then I'm okay with that. You still are allowed to have your beliefs. Right. Where in other countries, you are not. And I don't really think that these kids nowadays really understand that. You know, I have a 25-year-old at home and they don't understand that. Right. You know, and they're being taught in these schools not to understand that. Well, and it's funny that we're segueing into politics because that's what really got me involved is the schools, right? Yeah. What was happening in Glendale, Burbank, LAUSD, that's what got me involved. Yeah. You know, I'm a big proponent for children, right? That's our future. Yeah. And as the adults or the parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, our job is to protect them.
Yes.
And teach them and coach them on doing the right thing, right?
Yes.
Once we do that, once they're an adult, they can change their mind, do whatever they want. But when they're young, they need our influence. Yeah. And it has to be a positive influence. It can't be all this negativity that goes on or all the nonsense that is put out there by people that they look up to, right? Like I looked up to my teachers. If she was to tell me, especially Kathy Kasabian, if she would tell me jump, I would probably jump.
Yeah.
Right? So we forget about all that, and we trying to take parents out of the picture and grandparents out of the picture and families that are broken up, wives and husbands going separate ways and not focusing on what truly is important, which is the children, right? That's truly the most important thing in the world.
Yeah, I agree. One thing that I was shocked when I moved down here, because I came from a county that was pretty, it was purple, but a lot of red.
Right.
And up in the north, they're red up there. And so not the coast, I said the north.
Right.
But I came down here and I thought, oh boy, I'm going to be in for it here. But I ran into like big mommy groups and they are not having it.
No.
They are not having that agenda being pushed down kids' throats. And I physically saw them not touch or hurt anybody, but stop somebody from, participating in an activity which was as simple as reading, but the content of what they were going to read, 4 and 5-year-olds, was uncalled for without parent consent.
Yeah. That's a rabbit hole that we could talk for days on.
Yeah. And then that's when I realized, all right, we got a chance. If I'm down here, if what I see up north is happening and it's happening down here, you know what, California, we got a chance.
Yeah.
We got a chance.
And you're right. And I think, my only problem with moms is I don't see a lot of dads, right?
Ooh, okay, I saw a lot of dads.
Right. I normally don't see dads leading these groups. We have Manuk who leads, leave our kids alone.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of men involved.
Yeah.
Kind of like political groups, right? Almost every political group is run by women, right? So
I'm going to back that up with men are working, but I'm going to be honest with you. There were so many men that day. I was like, wow, this is great. So, it showed that this community right here in the Valley, because that happened in San Fernando Valley, really does care about the youth and our kids.
No, I'll speak positive about the San Fernando Valley. They're the ones that got a lot of this started.
Yeah.
It came from San Fernando Valley, and then it kind of migrated to Glendale.
Yeah.
And now we're hoping it migrates into Burbank because Burbank is trying to do what Glendale is doing in the schools. So they're trying to pollute our children with nonsense.
Yeah.
And try to keep parents out. And I get the fact that parents work. I understand that.
Right.
But my own theory on that is if you wanted to have kids and you're only able to sleep 1 hour, then that's all you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
Right? Because the kids are more important.
Yeah.
And I truly mean that out there. If you want to have kids, then I don't care if you only sleep 1 hour a night, your kids are the priority.
Yeah.
And that should be the priority for the future, our children. And everything we do today should be based on what is going to benefit them in the future.
Yeah.
And what we're handing them right now is a mess.
Well, I think we're going to clean it up because I've been up and down this state and I just see so many people and young people. I was at a fundraiser for college Republicans and they are starting a group for high schoolers. And I was so excited to hear that because so many rural counties, we have young Republicans, but it doesn't include high schoolers.
Right.
And then we have the college, college Republicans, but you got to be in college.
Right.
And so when I talked to Will, who's the president of the National, he said, yeah, we're starting this, high school. And so I was super excited. So everywhere I go, I'm talking about that because so many rural counties, they don't have the big universities next to them, but they have young kids. This next generation coming up, they're conservative and they want to be involved, but they don't have a specific group. So I'm so happy that the college Republicans are starting that group for the high schoolers.
And it's a great idea. And I think part of it is the local CRAs need to be super, super engaged, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to give you an example. The San Fernando Valley CRA that I don't belong to.
No, you don't?
No.
Yes, you did.
No, I belong to the GBRA, Glendale Burbank.
Oh, hi, Lois.
Right. And they're the ones that motivated me to run, right?
Good.
Because of just their drive to want to spread the message, right, to everyone, right? And that's super important. I think that's what we're missing.
Yeah.
That people in the local groups are not going out to the local community and saying, hey, we're here. This is what we're about.
Right.
We need help. You want to be part of the vetting process of the candidates for our district, our city? This is how you get involved, right? You get to choose who runs for office instead of, oh, that person. I don't know who that person is.
Yeah.
Be part of that. And I think, especially in LA County, because we have neighborhood council meetings.
Yes.
We should be going to every neighborhood council meeting and saying, hi, my name is Tony. I am a member of the GBRA, Glendale, Burbank, La Crescenta, Sunland, Tahunga, Studio City, Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
I'm here to introduce myself. Here's a flyer on our organization. We get 3 minutes to speak.
Right.
Here's a flyer on organization.
Yes.
We're looking for more members. We want to be involved in the community. How can we help? You know, let people know we're there. Because even myself as a candidate, I didn't know CRAs existed.
Yeah.
Until I met Rudy Melendez.
Oh, yeah. Rudy.
Right. I met Rudy, and Rudy explained to me, and I was still a little confused about what they really did.
Yeah.
But I still go to every meeting, right?
Yeah.
I want to be part of that. And I think all the CRAs need to do that.
Well, the CRAs are growing. I mean, just from when I was part of the membership, they, Carl Brickey and Johnny Morgan, they just really expanded the CRAs throughout the state. So my hat goes off to them because, that takes a lot of dedication, time, and work. And like you said, your CRA is a good group of people. They're hard workers. I know Lois.
Right.
And, my CRA, which I promise I'll get more involved. But I mean, I will, if they called me tomorrow and said, Lani, we need you here to do this, I would do it.
Right.
So, but they're hard workers too. Like Otto and I, we hit like 200 homes
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
And you know what? We walked like almost 3 hours and I didn't bring water. So it was like, I had a blonde moment. Sorry, but everybody that's not out there. So, but yeah, we have some really great organizations, but what do we need to do? We need to think outside the box, that people that are in organizations that are not Republican.
Right.
And how do we engage those people? Well, there's a lot of ways to engage people like that. And, one of the reasons why I got into politics is because I was so pissed off at what happened in Benghazi. So everybody that I know has gone into politics because they've had enough. Something pissed them off. Something triggered them to get involved. And, one thing I'm going to say about the Republican Party, there are some great people. There are great mentors, people that'll help. I see it all throughout the state. Like, people don't realize how much is going on throughout the state and the good stuff I see out there. And I think this is a good party to be a part of. I mean, I would love to just share all the good stuff that's going on because you don't see it.
Right.
You don't hear it. I see it. I hear it because I'm out there.
Right.
Like even down to the central committees, when they need help, central committees in other neighboring counties, they'll come in and help.
Right.
They will, do what it takes.
And I agree with you, but I think it's an education process, right? Since we have all these new people coming into central committees, they don't really know what their function is, right?
Right.
And I don't think we do a good enough job guiding them through that process, right?
Have you been in my training?
I have been. I know. I'm just saying, I'll speak for my central committee, right? We have one person in there that is super engaged, right? Lisa. She is super engaged. She's all over the place.
Yeah.
She's helping everybody. And then we have the other ones that don't really understand their role.
Right.
They're trying to help, but they just don't understand the role. And I think it's a learning process. Like everything in life, right?
Yes.
We have to fall a few times and learn and pick it up and move on, right?
Yes.
So what I'm hoping for when everybody gets sworn in December is that this new crew coming in gets down and dirty right away. And by that, I mean learning what they want to do, talking to other groups, other committees.
Yes.
And get information and ideas from them.
Yes.
Right? Because I think, like in life completely, we never want to copy what's working, right?
Right.
We always seem to, no, I want to do my thing, right?
Right.
Well, if somebody's doing something that works, then let's not change it. Right. Let's
Well,
try to copy it.
yeah,
And
I agree with that.
right.
And, that is one thing that I felt the same way when I started. So what happened is I was pissed off about Benghazi. So I marched myself down to the Republican Club party and I said, are you voting for Trump or not? I don't want Hillary. And back then they couldn't tell you. And so they said, but stick around, you'll see. So I stuck around. I became the representative. Then I was a treasurer for a short time. And then the chair got very sick and she appointed me.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I can't do this job. I just started. I don't know anything about this. And so I had two really great mentors. The vice regional chair called me up and said, you're going to do it. He was a Secret Service agent, Jim McCulley. You're going to do it and we're going to help you. And by God, they did.
Good.
And so that got me involved. Then I realized the northern counties needed representation at these conventions. And I was a founder of the Republican Rural County Alliance.
Okay.
And then I was asked to run for the County Chairman's Association. So that represents all 58 counties in the state of California. So I was very, very honored when I got elected. And it gave me the opportunity to really understand each county. Because what you have in Santa Barbara
Right.
is not what you have up in Modoc.
Yeah.
So what you have in San Diego is not what you have in Inyo County. So it gave me those opportunities to understand and actually get to know the chairs. And, every chair in the state of California, they have some great qualities and they bring some good things to the table. And we meet once a month and we share that information. And so, unfortunately, I got very sick and I had a life-changing experience. I lost my husband of 34 years. And so, and I was very sick. COVID, I'm a COVID tragedy story. Although someone says you should say you're a victory story because I won. I lived, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so I got reelected to the County Chairman's Association last year as a second vice chair. And I've been on a mission because I'm the chair of the Effectiveness Committee.
Okay.
So I really want to put forth the correct training and answer people's questions about what do central committees do.
Right.
There's only two jobs: elect Republicans and register Republicans. Those are the two jobs of the central committees. They're the grassroots of this statewide organization.
Right.
Now, how do we do that? Well, that's a whole process.
Right.
That's going to take a lot longer than what have time for today.
Right.
But I've been training people up and down the state. And because I'm doing that, a few people have asked me to run for chairs again.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, you know what? I would like to run for vice chair of the California Republican Party because I want to put forth my vision. And, if the board of directors likes it, then maybe it'll move forward and we can see some changes,
Right.
Because when I first got in, I loved Jim Brolte. He was a great guy and a lot of fun, and he had a lot of unity. But we did need some structure and training.
Right.
So Jessica has brought that to the table. And I'm going to say when I became chair of chairs, she was wonderful about her staff. Her staff became my staff. And anything that I needed or wanted, they would help me with. Her staff is absolutely wonderful. And she never stopped me from what I wanted to do. She never, she let me move forward. And so I'm very grateful for that because you want good people around you that will be able to make those changes.
Right.
I know people do have their reservations about things that are happening at the board of directors, and I see what those are. But I'm talking about the good things that I've experienced in the party, the positive things, because I feel that people need to hear those things because all we keep hearing is how we eat each other. And I'm here to say we don't, not all of us all the time.
Right. And you're right. I think we love to spread the negative side of everything, right?
Yes.
But we never want to put any effort into the positive side of things,
Yeah.
which is really kind of sad. And I think that's why a lot of our kids are the way they are,
Yeah.
because they just hear negativity, right? Whether it's on TV or social media
Yeah.
or from their parents or their friends, it's all negative, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like what's happening with how they divided us, right?
Right.
They did. We allowed other people to make us believe their nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, instead of
Yeah.
trying to do our own research and look into things and maybe even ask questions. We automatically we see a meme. A lot of them, kind of like this P Diddy thing. A lot of the things they're posting, they're not true.
Oh, really?
Right? No, people putting memes
Oh,
and
yeah.
right, or Justin Bieber singing that song of P Diddy. That's AI stuff. That's not even real, right?
Yeah.
But people believe it, right? They see it and they believe it, and kind of like what you said, they hear a few things about the Republican Party, and it's a bad party. It's not that it's a bad party. It's just that we're just not organized enough yet to fight the battle in California, because California, as we know, the other side is very powerful. They're well organized.
Yeah.
Their messaging is amazing, right? Whether we agree with their messaging or not, it's amazing. They do a great job of recruiting candidates, and they're not caught up on. I met a candidate that was running in my race. He's a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
They met this young person at a bar, right? He's a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
The precinct captain, and they have precinct captains in the Democratic Party.
They do.
Found him.
Yeah.
Liked him because he was personable, young kid. And he's a kid. He's in his probably early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's a young kid. He's a bartender, very personable, deals with all kinds of people. They talked him into running just based on that. Did he win? No, he didn't win. He didn't make it through the primary.
Yeah.
But that's how they're recruiting young people that are personable, that are able to communicate with anybody.
Right.
Right. Instead of, I can only talk to this group or that group.
Yeah.
I had coffee with this kid for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Yeah.
Because he has the right personality. He's a bartender. He's used to speaking to people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
He can adjust his personality, and that's what they're recruiting. And I think we need to mimic some of that, right? Go after people that aren't shy, right? That are able to speak in public and talk to just anybody, and not worry about, are you going to vote for Trump? Not be afraid to answer the question. You know what I mean? Because I think, you have to answer the questions, right? Or you don't have to say, I'm going to vote for him, but I'm going to support. He's the best person for the job, and not be afraid of repercussions.
Well, that's why I'm so excited that Will Donahue has started this program, because I'm telling you, I have been around the college Republicans, and have you been around them?
Yes, they endorse me.
Okay. So, I love them because they're friendly, they're positive, they're a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
So, and I'm so excited that they're starting this at the high school level, because you're right. We need to recruit and mold and bring forth, younger people that want to have an interest. Like even my next door neighbor is interested.
Right.
And so, it takes that kind of leadership to bring those types of programs forth. Really does. And so, one thing I'm going to say, the whole reason why I've stuck to politics, because after I lost my husband, I thought, I don't know if I'm going to come back, but actually it was a Republican. I feel like it was a Republican Party that really, really helped save my life, because as you know, I was in a coma for 2 months,
right,
and I was in the hospital for 6 months. And when I woke up, I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk. I had a trach in my throat for 15 months. And I received so many prayers and cards from people throughout this entire state. And, one thing that really touched my heart too is that Matt Heath up in Sonoma County had mentioned to me that Jessica had called him every week to get an update on me. So I thought, you know what? People need to see more of us being at the human level, because you know what? We are, because we all believe in God. We all believe in prayer. We all believe in that positivity.
right.
And I want to bring that forth because I see it. I've experienced it. And that's why I stay in politics. And I'm hoping to bring those changes and that vision if I get elected. in 2025.
Right.
So, and my website's really easy. You can look on there. It has my plan. It's my name, Lani. What is it? Lani Connie?
Right.
Yeah. .com.
It's amazing to me that everything you've gone through and you still want to help. And I think people forget that there's people out there that, regardless of how many times you get knocked down, that we're able to get up. Because sometimes I think people believe you get knocked down twice and they don't want to get up, right? Because they're afraid. It's just fear, right? And they're afraid of the unknown, like we all are, right? But you have to get up and fight every day. I think one thing that I did learn in the Army was you have to get up, right?
Yeah.
You go to basic training, you might not hit the target the first time. You can't just, crawl into a hole and give up. You have to keep trying to fight, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're running, right, with the backpack 50-pound rack running, right?
Yeah.
It's not, it's not something that you can do right away, right? It's something you have to build to, and it's going to hurt. But ultimately, you're able to do that.
Yeah.
And I think today's world, people are just afraid to get knocked down and feel like they're not good enough because somebody's going to say, you can't make it. Well, you just got to get up and fight every day, right?
Yeah.
And
but it's people like you and me that are willing to hold our hand out and say, I'll help you get up.
Yeah.
And that's what I've experienced.
And we have to help each other. I mean,
yes.
I had a debate a couple of weeks ago, and I ended up with this comment. I said, all I'm asking you is to be kind to each other.
Yeah.
Right? Simple kindness, regardless of whether you agree with me or not.
Yeah.
We could still be friends, and we can still be acquaintances, and we can still have coffee and not fight over somebody that we don't even know, right?
Exactly.
I mean, to me, everything is like at home, being at home, right? When you have a family, you're going to fight. It is what it is, right? You're going to disagree.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're still a family, and you stick together no matter what. And I think that's what's really lacking. I think we've gotten away from the family unit in a lot of ways, and we just need to get back to that, right? When mom and dad are involved, teaching moral compass to our children, regardless of whatever faith they believe, whatever faith they have, right?
Right.
Just have faith and have moral compass and think about your neighbor in a positive way,
right?
Not in a negative way.
Yeah.
Instead of being a busybody peeking out the window, walk outside and say hello, right?
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
I mean, just say hello.
Yeah.
I mean, we just had neighbors across the street, and I know the lady looked like I was a weird guy because we walked up, my wife and I, to introduce ourselves to them.
Yeah.
Right? I said, hi, I'm Tony. This is my wife, Sheila. We're your neighbors across the street. And I think she looked at us like we were crazy. She was taken back a little bit.
Yeah.
After a while, we had her laughing, but she was taken back. And that's kind of what we're missing.
Yeah.
That neighborly help. Let's take care of each other. Let's take care of our little piece of the pie. Let's take care of the state of California.
I agree with that, and you're right. People are afraid to get knocked down. I mean, I made a decree. I'm not getting sick anymore. So, I don't know. People don't know that I'm a transplant patient.
Oh, no. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm a transplant recipient. My husband did a live paired donation, and he changed 12 people's lives, including mine. And then I got cancer, stage 4. So it's like having COVID was just like the third knockout. And I said, that's it. I'm not going to be sick anymore. I'm done being sick.
Right.
So, and you're right. Fighting. Why do I do this? Because my family served to preserve our freedoms that I don't take for granted. And this is my way to serve. I didn't go into the military, although my uncle wanted me to go to the Air Force. But unfortunately, my dad died when I was 15. And so I took a different route, But I feel like I can't give up. I won't give up because I don't want to live in a communist country. I don't want to live in a socialist country.
And I don't. And I agree with you. I think, I did 26 years, like I stayed super involved in my community before I decided to run.
Yeah.
I was even driving to San Diego to clean up beaches, right?
Yeah.
I take my family with me.
Yeah.
Whatever we can do to help, we're going to do, right?
Right.
And then this opportunity came up to at least have my voice heard.
Yeah.
And maybe educate some people in the process.
Right.
Whether I win or lose, it doesn't matter to me because I'm going to be engaged no matter what to the end.
Right.
Right. So that's how I continue to serve
Yeah.
my community.
I commend you for that.
Well,
Because you know what? It takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of time. It takes money. All these candidates that are running, they have sacrificed a lot.
oh, I don't think people really understand that. Trust me.
No.
I don't think I understood it until now, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's pressure to the family, right?
Yeah.
In my case, my grandkids, my wife.
Yeah.
You know, honey, I'm not going to be home for dinner. I got to go do this. I got to go do that. I can't go to the park and have a picnic because I got to do, you know, I have an event to go to. So
Yeah.
you're right. People don't understand. It's like,
No.
you know, if you're married to a police officer, right? People don't understand what the families go through, or military people, they don't understand,
Exactly.
or firefighters, right?
Yeah.
They're having dinner with each other at the station, now with you and the kids. So
Exactly.
I think we forget that. And I know that those jobs are volunteer jobs, but we still have to respect what they're doing on a daily basis because their lives are in the forefront, right? They're the ones that are going to get shot at, you know, assaulted.
Right.
Right. Even firefighters get assaulted.
Yeah.
Right. So we need to be grateful for what they do to keep us safe. Right. Because right now, I don't feel safe. I'll tell you the truth. I don't. I don't like my wife walking the dog at night anymore. I don't let my grandkids play in the front yard anymore.
Yeah.
And that's because of what's happened in the last, 8 to 10 years in California, where we just gone down this rabbit hole that hopefully we'll get out of it soon.
I think so. The policies that have been pushed down and, you know, actually presented in a way that would make people think, oh, you know,
exactly.
Maybe we can't, maybe we are being too harsh. Maybe we are, you know, but look where it's gotten us,
Right.
you know? And so I'm going to say this. It's California's time to dig in deep and unite. When we unite, we win.
Right.
And when we win, we will start bringing balance back to California. And that's a start that I'm willing to lead if I do get elected in 2025.
Well, we're going to help you get elected because we definitely need balance.
Yes.
And we can't have, you know, 20 of these and 10 of these. We need to have, you know, 15 and 15 so we can talk civilized with each other to accomplish what's really important, right? And prioritize what's important.
Yeah.
You know, like we have a lot of propositions on this, right, that sound good, but they're not good, right?
Yeah.
They're not good. So we need to make sure that people are educated in the policies before they vote. And if they don't know, do some research. If you don't want to ask anybody, research the policies and understand why you should vote a certain way.
Yeah.
I'm not telling anybody to vote my way. I'm just telling you vote, for God's sake. Please vote.
Yes.
Because that's important.
And take your ballot to the voter registrar or the voting center. Take it there and then track your ballot, please. And if you have time, go and donate your time to be a poll watcher or work the ballots. I don't know if those times are over with yet.
No, they're not. And and we need to be involved in the government, right? We need to be part of the system, not stay home and ignore the system, because that's the problem. We've ignored it so long that, you know, it spread wings and it's spreading like a disease, right?
You know, it's funny because the Election Integrity Committee was started in 2020 when I got elected. And so Randy Burholtz, who's the secretary, wanted that committee. And Jessica, you know, said, sure. And so by accident, I got onto that committee. But Randy and I, God bless him, we put that together in 2020 and in a very, very short amount of time. And I got to say, I commend the Central Committee chairs because they just like got up and did it.
Right.
And we were just telling them, do this, do this, do this, do this, you know. And so now I'm hearing that the RNC and other states are duplicating what Randy and I put in forth. So I'm
again, when a system works, let's copy it, right? Let's not copy rent control from New York. It's not working in New York. What makes you think it's going to work in California?
Exactly.
So we need to copy what works, right? And not worry about who developed it, you know, if it works, let's talk about it and bring it in. And maybe it'll work for us. And if it doesn't work, then we need to try something else.
I agree.
Right? It's like people that get elected to office.
Yeah.
If the person you elected didn't do his or her job in the first 2 years, fire them, find somebody else. That's what I say, right? And I think it's
Good
super
enough.
important.
Yeah.
I want to close by you talking, give us some more information about your website for the veterans.
Yes. Yes. So I'm super excited about the 2 events. Our parade, it's a fabulous time. We do need some additional help with feeding the kids. So if anybody out there can give $20, it helps, believe me. Our website for that is calvac, CALVAC.org. And some donors have been very, very generous. So we appreciate that. But this parade is going to be close to like $30,000 to put it on with everything that we have going on. And then the second event is the 5K fun run. So that's going to be in Santa Monica, next to the Santa Monica Pier. And I had some really great donors, which I mentioned earlier, help with that. And so all the costs for the city and our insurance were paid for. So I want to get as much money for the registration to go to the veterans at the VA at Wadsworth.
Okay.
So 100%, we are 100% volunteer organization, nonprofit, so you can get a tax write-off. And, all of my board members, they just do it for the love of country and, supporting veterans, because all of them are veterans. Or what I like about the VAC is they allow civilians to be, with us. And so most of us have had military parents, brothers, sisters. So we care. We have a really great group of people. I love them. We've become a family. We fight like a family too.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
So to all my brothers and sisters out there that I serve with and all the friends that let's spread this message, because we all know we need to support our veterans.
Yes, yes. And just come out and come out and join us for that 5K fun run. That is also on our website. And you don't have to run. I don't think I'm going to run. I'm probably crawl. No, I'm kidding.
I will definitely join you in Santa Monica. I will definitely be there.
Perfect.
I will run. I don't know how far I could run at this point, but I will run.
I didn't even know 5K was 3 miles.
Yes.
I'm like, that's how far away I am from running.
But it's super important that we start taking care of our people, our own people first, right? Yeah. I'm a firm believer that Americans come first.
Yeah.
And as long as you're an American, whether you're from Puerto Rico like me or from anywhere you are, as long as you're here and you're a citizen or a legal immigrant, you should be helped first.
I agree.
And I think we need to get over ourselves and trying to fix the whole world. We need to fix our country first and then help our neighbors.
I agree.
That's a thing that I think we're missing out on. But Lani, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
And I'm super happy that you're helping my brothers and sisters, because we need all the help we can get.
Thank you.
And again, thank you for joining GRIT. Get ready, it's Tony. I am running for State Assembly District 44, which includes the beautiful city of Burbank, Glendale, La Crescenta, Montrose, Sun Valley, Shadow Hills, Sherman Oaks, Studio City, Valley Village, Sunland, Tahunga. Make sure you vote. I'm not telling you to vote for me, but I want you to vote for me, but I want you to vote, period. That's the big thing. Just vote. So thank you for joining us at GRIT. See you next time.